Hi, this is Stephen Brower. This week we're going to be taking a look at UNIX. The book and the slides will go over some of the theory and sort of the principles behind UNIX. The lab and part of the homework that we're going to go through will give us some hands-on using, and the word I'll use is a flavor of UNIX. We're going to be using RVCC2, which is a UNIX-like environment. There is in the timeline a link on how to enable Telnet if you don't have it enabled. And what I'll do right here is I'm just going to start the command and bring it into view. When you type Telnet, if it comes back and it says it's unrecognized, then Telnet isn't enabled, and then you'll have to go and enable that. And so there's a separate PDF in the timeline that goes through the steps and how to enable Telnet. Now I went from the command into here just to show that it will start, as opposed to coming back with a message that says unrecognized command. For connecting to RVCC2, we either can type the open command here, or actually when we start Telnet, we can do telnet space rvcc2.raritanval.edu. Either way. But since I'm already in Telnet, I will do open rvcc2.raritanval. By the way, when you're on campus, you don't need the raritanval.edu. So if you're in one of the open labs, all you have to do is say open rvcc2 from Telnet, or you can, from the command prompt, do telnet rvcc2, and that would work. But at home, you have to specify .raritanval.edu. Now another PDF in the timeline has your login instructions, which explains your email, your account, which is the first letter of your first name, first three letters of your last name, your last four digits, and then your your password, the very first time in, is going to be your G number with a capital G. Anyway, that separate PDF explains that. Since I'm a faculty member, my ID is a little bit different. But let me go and connect to RVCC2. So my ID being a little bit different, I'm S. Brower. Now the password, when you type the password, you're not going to see any characters come up on the screen. It's a bit disconcerting since we're used to saying, asterisks or dots, but the premise behind it is someone standing over your shoulder, they're not going to see how many characters your password is. Well, this right here, this tiny little $sign, that is our prompt, and yes, there is a series of commands to go in and change the prompt, but I'm just going to use the default for right now. This is showing us the version of UNIX, and we're using a UNIX-like environment, the AIX version 3, which is from IBM. And down here would be some information showing about the last time that we logged on and the last unsuccessful log on. Okay. One thing, by the way, UNIX is case sensitive, and so the commands that I'm typing, if you see me type them in lowercase, that is specific to be lowercase. Well, one thing we might want to know is, well, where are we? If I do PWD, which stands for Print Working Directory, it shows the current directory that you're in. Now, for students, it would be users, classes, and then your G number, or users, students, and then your G number. I'm sorry, not your G number, your account. I'm not sure, but do PWD and you'll find out where you are. To list files in the directory that you're in, there is the ls command, and this will just give a list of the files, but if you notice there's no details, to get the details, ls space dash L, and that, what I just typed right here, this is a lowercase l. I know it looks like a 1, but the font, the default font that I have, that actually is, though, a little L, even though it looks like a 1. Okay, in the detail format, well, the first character here, if it's a D, it indicates it's a directory, and if it's a dash, then it indicates it's a file. So this today.txt that I have here is a file, but the like this lab 11, this public HTML, these are directories. So it's just a way that you can tell whether something is a file or something is a directory. To go into a directory that's that you see here, you can do cd space, and then I'm going to do public HTML. And by the way, in case you're unsure where you actually are, if I just do a pwd just to be double sure, I am in the public HTML directory. I'm going to do an ls details, and I'll get a list of what I have, and I have a series of directories, and I have a couple files. If I want to get back up to where I came from, if I do cd space ... stands for the parent directory, and that'll take me up to the one above where I am. So again, if I'm unsure, I can just do pwd, and I'm back in my sbrower directory. To create a directory, I'm going to create a directory, make dir. I'm going to call this demo 0406. Wonder when I made this video. Okay, and so that made that directory. So if I do an ls-l, L, I can see the demo 046 is a directory and created here on April 6th. And so now if I change into this directory, and the case matters, so I did the capital D and just double check where I am, but if I look for files, then I have nothing here in terms of the files. By the way, if you are idle for too long, what may happen is that your telnet session will time out. I think it is at 5 minutes on our RVCC2 computer, but I'm not 100%. I'm not quite sure. Between the lab and the homework, some of the other commands we might get into are things like saying, who is logged on and what they're doing at that time, and there's more details to that itself. Oh, one thing I do want to show though is there is a manual that is built into UNIX, and the manual is a way that if you know a command, you can get the details on how that command works. Well, previously one thing we saw was the ls command, and so if I do man space ls, it'll bring up the manual for the ls, and it'll show all of the different options that exist for that command. Now, what we're in here is sort of a this is a way it only displays so many lines and then pauses. If I hit the space bar, it will advance the next page. So the man will give, or the manual will give a description about the command, and then we'll go through and explain what some of the options are. And you'll see that for even something like the ls, there is really quite more robust options to it than just the two that my demo showed. I probably should have hit pause, and so okay, now I'm at the end of the file. So if you know a command, it is a way to get a little more details on how that command will work. And the irony of it is you even can get the manual on the manual. So you can do man space man and then find out what even some of the options are within the manual itself. So that's once you know a command, then it's a way that you can go and find some more details about it. So what will happen is for the lab and for the homework, that there might be where you have to go and investigate and try to find a couple things. And then once you think you have that command, you can go and get the details of it. Okay. I'm approaching 9.5 minutes. I think for this first video that might be enough. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a second video, but at least this is getting us into to see a little bit of navigating and seeing where we are and how to see some files that exist. I think it's enough of an overview. Oh, I'm sorry. No, wait a minute. Let me log out. One thing you do want to be careful about is Control D. Control D will exit, and so that, let's say you're in the middle of something inside of a program that's running. Control D is a way of getting out of that program. But if you're at the command prompt, you do Control D, it would be the same as leaving Unix. So if I do exit, that will leave the RVCC2. So the connection to host lost. I am still inside of Telnet though, because of the way that I went in, and so I can just now quit, and now I'm outside of Telnet. What I just want to real quickly then show is from here, if I actually did telnet rvcc2.raritanval.edu, so if I just typed the telnet here, it would bring me in, oh, wrong button. It would bring me into telnet at the RVCC2 box. And then from here, if I were to do exit, not only would it then go and close the connection to Raritan Valley, but then the telnet would close. Okay, that's good enough for now. Wait, where's the button? Oh, here it is.